Merry Christmas to all. Mike Gross, Andrew Kalista here in the sweetest place on earth is what they call Hershey, Pennsylvania. Penn State versus Pitt. Men's basketball here today. Not a good day for the Penn State Nittany Lions at all.
It really wasn't. To have them play so well in their last outing against an elite team, Michigan State, and then come out and struggle again. And this is the second time in 3 games that an opponent is kind of going crazy, shooting 3 against them. And that's a problem. Penn State basketball is, they banked some wins against a very easy non-conference schedule, but most of the rest of the way is going to be against quality opposition, Big Ten opposition, and it looks a little daunting.
Before we get into that quality competition that's upcoming, it's Murderers Row in the Big Ten that's upcoming pretty much for Penn State. Yeah. So, it's big boy basketball that lies ahead.
Yeah, they have North Carolina Central, is it?
Yeah.
That's their next game. They ought to be able to handle that one, but then it's Illinois, Michigan, and Purdue back to back, and man, this team does not look well suited to those kind of matchups.
We listened to Jeff Capel talk in the press conference for Pitt basketball, and he said about their goal was to get after Penn State, to get them to kind of turn the ball over, something they haven't done all year long. Also, listening to Coach Rhodes, he talked about the ups and downs and the roller coaster of having a young team. All this press and everybody writing about things are going the right way after Michigan State, kind of a little bit of a reversal. One of the things that they struggled with today, Mike, was closing out on shooters, as Roman Salupa for Pitt puts up 20, I think it was 28, close to 30. I'm not sure, we were walking down at the end of the game. I think it was 28 points. And Coach Rhodes talked about the rotation has to be better, the help side defense has to be better. These are ebbs and flows that happen with young basketball teams.
It's a weird thing because against Michigan State, they were so conscious of doubling the big guys inside, but they did a great job of, when the big guys doubled and he passes it out, scramble, get the shots contested. They were much worse at that today for whatever reason.
Minor for Pitt also was a spark plug. It seemed every single time.
Pitt played great.
Oh yeah, Pitt did play good. We should say that.
We should say that. I thought their execution on both ends was really good. They shared the ball. They moved the ball. They created good shots. I mean, they're 7-6. They're not having a great year, and some of their resume is like kind of goofy based on what we saw today.
One of the things, and I kind of asked Coach Rhodes this, was how do you make sure that a young team, when you talk about they're going to have ups and downs, they're going away on break. How do you make sure doubt doesn't creep in? I thought his answer was pretty interesting about, he knows his guys, knows his team. They're going to go home. They're going to get a home-cooked meal. They should come back pretty refreshed, both mentally and physically.
Well, the interesting thing about this is they got some guys from all over the world.
Yeah.
So are they going home? Are they going? What kind of experience are they going to get? But I don't know if that's a big thing. It's just the challenge of coaching a very young team. They have 8 freshmen. 4 or 5 of them are kind of rotation players, and the point guard freshman is the one by far most indispensable piece, and he's very solid, as he always is. He was solid today, as he always is. But just the erratic nature of it, it's got to make Mike Rhodes toss and turn at night a little bit.
You mentioned kind of the worldly aspect that Penn State has on this basketball team. A lot of that has to do with NIL. A lot of it has to do with lack of NIL funds. There's a couple moments when you look at this young Penn State team and you think, if they knock down one shot, they're kind of over the hump. They had the lead cut to 12. They had an opportunity to knock that down to single digits, and the shot doesn't go in. They obviously are not a very good shooting team. Another time was Penn State takes the ball to a hoop, one of the young European players, and it gets rejected as he thought he kind of had an open layup. It's kind of just a different style of basketball.
That's right.
How much do you make of that, of these guys learning? I don't want to say because they're semi-pros or professionals in their own country, but trying to learn that American style of game, here at the college level.
I think that's a big part of it. And, Mike Rhodes is known for pressure defense. He likes to attack defensively, a lot of it full court. I think he feels like he can't really do that most of the time with this group of guys, just because of that, what you just talked about. I think is part of it. But I thought there was a stretch today, and we're looking for silver linings here. There was a stretch where early in the second half where they got it down to 12, from 21 to 12. where that they did attack a little bit and did turn Pitt over a little bit, and that I think was encouraging because they have some long bodies, they have a little bit of depth, they have 8 or 9 guys that you would think of as rotation players, so they ought to be able to run guys in and out a little bit and maybe do some more of that. Maybe that's something they can hang their hat on going forward.
Bright spot a little bit for Penn State. They seemed that Hauser from Cedar Cliff here in Mechanicsburg kind of played a lot more minutes than he has. Battled. Rhodes was very high on him, even calling out some of the old guys. He played tougher and more competitive than some of his teammates to kind of earn that time in there today.
He's a freshman, and he's really a project. Originally from Cedar Cliff High School, right around here, and 7-footer. And it's interesting. Mike said we kind of brought him in so he could practice against another 7-footer and get that guy ready. And I thought he's one of those guys. He's a very willing screener.
Yeah.
He's not afraid. It looks like he's not afraid. He sticks his body in there. He sticks his nose in there. He might be ending up having a little more of a role this year than we would have thought for him, because he really is a project.
Freddie DeLeon, he's not starting. Mike Rhodes said he is a starter, right? Mike gets.
You play 34 minutes, you're playing starters minutes, and then some, really.
Mike Rhodes is probably going to get that question a lot. What's it going to take to move him into the starting lineup? You're playing 34 minutes, you are a starter.
Yeah, that's
not really a big thing. The other thing is Killen Mingo. We know he's good. Jeff Capel said he's having a phenomenal freshman year, but he's still a freshman. You see at times some of that youthfulness with him. Maybe is it him trying to do too much? Sometimes as being the floor general, getting caught in the air a couple times or trap baseline. Saw it happen a couple times here today.
How much do I attack and try to create for myself? How much do I think about making my teammates better? He's rock solid with the ball. He's a strong kid. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes. I mean, it's good that they have a guy like that. But those are the things that he that's maybe the next step for him. And he's a true freshman, and he's having a terrific year. He's not the problem, but the next level is those things.
Yeah. The last thing that I just want to cover is Penn State. At one point, I looked over at you in the press box, and I said, geez, they're 2 of 15 from 3. Like, you were like, oh, 2 of 13. And then we looked at the updated stats. They actually were 2 of 15. And I was not saying that as in being serious, as that's what I thought. It was just one of those things that Penn State still continues to struggle mightily from shooting beyond art. And again, the European style of basketball, a lot of it is behind the arc.
Yeah, but they don't look good shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's an area where I don't know. I'm sure there's a guy on their staff who they consider to be a shooting coach. He's got some work to do because they don't look good shooting ball. It's not just that they're not going in, and we know that's like a multiplier in college basketball, and all levels of basketball really right now. They got to get better at that. It's that simple. They got to get in the gym and work on it and get better.
Yeah, because at 14-point, you're trailing by 14 points. You're 2 shots away from making it a game out of an 8-point game. You get 1 stop,
and it was
back 3. So
Pitt getting the working margin early was all about the 3. Yep. Them making him, and Penn State not making him.
Well, going off that, one interesting thing that Coach Rhodes said was, even if a team hits a couple threes early, he said we kind of act like they just hit 12 threes early. Like he doesn't want to say, like, I'm not saying it depresses them, but it acts on them mentally like they're not guarding the 3 good, and it just
it is a psychological thing. It felt to me like Pitt made more than they actually did. If you actually look at the scoreboard, that's a real thing.
So what do they do for it? If you're Coach Rhodes and you're in the locker room, we just heard coming out of that press room, how do you make sure these guys go home, come back, and are still bought into the process that this is? And as Coach Rhodes told us on our podcast before this season started, during football season, that there are going to be nights that are just up and down with a young team, and then there's going to be nights like Michigan State where if they win that game, they shock everybody. I think they kind of shocked everybody by how they competed against Michigan State anyway.
But it's just another loss.
Yeah. What's there are no moral victories, but what's the message coming back?
Well, the big thing is I think they banked some wins early that were important, and a lot of that was scheduling. So they're not going to go like 6-27 this year or something. It's not going to be that bad, but it's going to get tougher from here on out. And I think maybe mix it up defensively more and just attack more defensively and get after people a little bit, because we saw it work to a small extent. Maybe that's the next step.
Interesting thing, a young basketball team, a lot of ebb and flows. I've said young about, I feel like 14 times.
Yeah, but they're
super young.
They're super young. They're so reliant on true freshmen and some kids that have never seen anything like remotely like this before. Mingo played high school basketball at a very high level.
Yeah.
Very high level. You could see that watching him play. Some of these other guys, not the case.
Yeah, and at the same time, with this team and being how young they are, there were still times where it's like, man, if they just had one more guy, like you think, one more scoring guy.
Yeah, they're a little short in a lot of areas, and it might be a rough road for the Nets and for Mike Rhodes, but we'll see. But maybe let's attack some people
right now
defensively and see what happens.
Right now, pretty much the biggest win recently for Penn State is Tom Izzo saying to Penn State fans, stay the course. It's a good team that's coming, and you just got to stay the course, build it out through rough spots. And that's tough to do in this day and age. So I guess that does it from here at the floor of the Giants Center. Pitt runs Penn State off the court here in Hershey, but a lot of growing pains going on for the Nittany Lions right now. He is Mike Gross. Make sure you're following him at the Gross Rational Product. I'll have complete recaps of this game and stuff going throughout the break. Make sure everyone has a Merry Christmas. And if you're listening to this, make sure you check out our full podcast, last podcast with Frank Bonanni of the York Daily Record. We had a pretty good guest on, did we not?
We did. Matt Millen, and he brought it. Brought it. That was one of the good ones.
You want to hear what Matt Millen said about Sunday after Northwestern game with the text message he sent. So make sure you scroll back either on Spotify or in the YouTube playlist. Make sure you check out Matt Millen on the Blue White Tailgate podcast. Really want to appreciate everyone for following along. Make sure you like us, follow us, tell your friend about us. Free podcast. Heisman voter, former TV guy, Frank Bonanni, Heisman voter as well. So we try to bring you a little bit of Penn State athletics and Penn State football, wrestling, hockey as well. Make sure you have a Merry Christmas. We will see you next time from New York City and the Pinstripe Bowl.